Okay, so let's just dive straight in because every time I open social media lately, I feel like Gen Z dating has its own universe, its own language. And honestly, sometimes I feel like I need subtitles. Do you ever get that feeling, Zach, where you hear people talk about dating and you're like, wait, are we still speaking English here?
Oh, 100%. I swear, dating today comes with a glossary. Back in the day, it was just, are you single? And do you like me, yes or no? Now it's like, are we in the talking phase, or is this a situationship, or are we just vibing but not labeling? And you sit there like, cool, cool, but what are we actually doing?
Exactly. And I think that's why the talking phase is such a big thing for Gen Z. It's not just chatting anymore. It's like this unofficial pre-relationship stage where you text every day, maybe send memes, voice notes, late night messages, but no one wants to define anything because defining things feels scary.
Yeah, the talking phase is basically emotional limbo. You're not strangers, but you're not a couple either. You're checking your phone like a maniac, reading into every emoji, every haha versus ha ha ha. But at the same time, if someone asks, so are you guys together? You're like, not really. It's walking on eggshells.
And what's wild is that the talking phase can last weeks or even months. I have friends who've been talking longer than some actual relationships last. It's like you're investing time, feelings, and energy, but there's no clear commitment, which is where the situationship comes in, right?
Yeah, situationship is like the final boss of confusing relationships. At least in the talking phase, there's still the sense of curiosity and excitement. A situationship is when you're basically acting like a couple, hanging out, sleeping over, maybe meeting friends, but without the title. No labels, no promises, just vibes and anxiety.
Honestly, just vibes should come with a warning label because situationships can feel comfortable at first. You get the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility, but over time, it messes with your head. You start asking yourself, am I okay with this? Or am I just settling because I'm afraid to rock the boat?
That's the thing. A lot of Gen Z grew up watching messy relationships, divorces, emotional chaos. So commitment can feel like a risky move. Staying in a situationship feels safer, like keeping one foot out the door. But at the same time, it can slowly drain you. It's death by a thousand cuts.
Yeah, and I think that's why Gen Z is so obsessed with flags. Not just red flags anymore, but green flags and now even beige flags. It's like we're all amateur detectives analyzing every tiny behavior.
Totally. Red flags are the obvious deal breakers: lying, manipulation, disrespect, emotional unavailability, the kind of stuff where your gut is screaming, run. Green flags, on the other hand, are things like good communication, emotional maturity, consistency, basically signs that someone isn't going to waste your time.
But beige flags are my favorite, honestly. They're not bad, not good, just weirdly specific habits, like someone who eats the same meal every single day or claps when a plane lands. It's not a red flag, but you're like, huh, interesting.
Exactly. Beige flags are those moments where you pause and think, can I live with this? It's not toxic, it's not harmful, but it's a little quirky. And Gen Z loves talking about it because it humanizes dating. It's not all drama. Sometimes it's just, this person alphabetizes their spice rack, and I don't know how I feel about that.
And honestly, focusing on flags is Gen Z's way of protecting themselves. People are more self-aware now. They're trying not to repeat old patterns, not to fall head over heels for someone who's clearly bad news. It's like learn from my mistakes energy.
For sure. But sometimes I feel like we overanalyze. Not every flaw is a red flag. Some people are just human. If you're constantly nitpicking, you might miss out on something real because you're too busy looking for perfection.
That's such a good point. Dating shouldn't feel like a job interview, which brings us to something really interesting that's predicted to be big in 2026, status flexing. At first, it sounds kind of shallow, but it's actually about clarity.
Yes, that is flexing isn't about showing off. It's about being upfront. People are tired of ambiguity. They're posting or openly talking about their relationship status to avoid confusion. Like, yes, I'm single, or yes, I'm taken, or yes, I'm dating someone seriously. No more guessing games.
I actually love that. It saves time and emotional energy. Instead of decoding Instagram stories or overthinking captions, people are just saying it as it is. It's giving "I value honesty and my peace" vibes.
And it connects perfectly with another trend, true casting. This idea of showing up as your real self, flaws and all, instead of curating a perfect filtered version of your life. Gen Z is kind of over the whole fake it till you make it dating persona.
Yes, true casting is like, this is me on a bad day, a good day, and everything in between. Less filters, less pretending to be cooler or richer or more emotionally detached than you actually are. It's refreshing, honestly.
It is, and I think true casting comes from burnout. People are exhausted from performing, pretending to be chill when you're not, pretending you don't care when you actually do. It's draining. Being real might scare some people away, but it also attracts the right ones.
Exactly. It's like that saying, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. If someone leaves because you're honest about who you are, they probably weren't your person anyway.
And maybe that's the biggest shift in Gen Z dating. Less chasing, less proving, more aligning. People are asking, do our values match, instead of do they look good on my feed?
I love that. It feels like dating is slowly moving from performance to presence, from trying to impress to trying to connect. It's messy, it's confusing, but it's also kind of hopeful.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's real. And honestly, if you can survive the talking phase, escape the situationship, decode the flags, and still show up as yourself, that's a win already.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of wins, all this honesty and self-awareness also comes with challenges, especially when real life hits. Money, expectations, burnout, which honestly sets us up perfectly for what Gen Z is dealing with next in the dating world.
Oh, yeah, because once the vibes are there, reality shows up with the bill, and that's where things get really interesting. So yeah, like I was saying, once the vibes are there and everyone's being honest and true casting their lives, reality shows up uninvited holding a receipt. And I think that's where dating in 2026 really starts to feel different, because love might be priceless, but dating definitely is not.
Oh my God, yes. Dating has become expensive in a way that people don't talk about enough. Drinks, dinners, Ubers, outfits, even just the emotional energy. It all adds up. That's why this whole afford dating trend makes so much sense to me. It's like Gen Z collectively said, let's stop pretending we're rich.
Exactly. Afford dating is basically budget-friendly dating without the shame. Instead of fancy restaurants or rooftop bars, people are like, let's take a walk in the park, or come over, I'll cook, or even let's grab coffee and just talk. And honestly, those days can be way more intimate.
Totally. There's something really romantic about simple plans. When you're walking side by side, no distractions, no loud music, you actually talk. You learn how someone thinks, what makes them laugh, what they care about. You're not hiding behind a fancy setting.
And it also filters people out. If someone loses interest because you didn't take them to an expensive place, that tells you a lot. Afford dating kind of exposes intentions. Are you here for the connection, or are you here for the experience?
That's such a good point. It's like, are you dating me or are you dating the lifestyle? And Gen Z is way more comfortable saying, this is what I can afford right now, take it or leave it. That honesty feels very on brand for this generation.
And affordability isn't just about money, it's emotional affordability too. People don't want relationships that drain them, which is why another huge thing in 2026 is the role of group chats. I swear, no one dates alone anymore.
Oh, group chats run everything. Before a date, during a date, after a date, your friends know all the details. Screenshots, voice notes, live updates like, guys, he just said this, what does it mean? It's like crowdsourced dating advice.
And sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it's chaos, because you'll have one friend saying, that's a red flag, another saying, you're overthinking, and another going full detective mode, analyzing his Spotify playlists.
But honestly, I kind of love it. Group chats act like an emotional safety net, especially after people realized how easy it is to get delulu, like building a fantasy version of someone in your head that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, Delulu is dangerous. You meet someone twice and suddenly you're planning your future together in your head. Group chats bring you back down to earth. Your friends are like, relax, you don't even know his last name.
Exactly. And that's where double dates come in too. Inviting another couple or a friend along takes the pressure off. You see how the person interacts with others, not just with you. It's a reality check.
Right. People reveal so much in group settings. Are they kind to servers? Do they listen? Do they dominate the conversation? It's less about chemistry and more about character.
And I think all of this, group chats, double dates, dating, comes from one big thing: dating fatigue. People are tired, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Dating apps really did a number on us. Swiping endlessly, having the same conversations over and over, ghosting, getting ghosted. It's exhausting. At some point, you just feel numb.
Yeah, dating fatigue feels like burnout. You're not even excited anymore. You see a new match, and instead of thinking, ooh, potential, you think, ugh, here we go again. That's when people start pulling back.
And that's where this shift toward intentional connection comes in. Instead of dating everyone, people are dating with purpose, asking deeper questions earlier, being clearer about what they want.
Which is such a contrast to hookup culture stereotypes. Gen Z is actually craving depth. They want conversations that matter, emotional safety, shared values. It's less about quantity, more about quality.
And you can see that reflected in the new dating standards. Looks still matter, obviously, but they're not everything anymore. People are paying attention to the smallest details.
Like the infamous hair smell standard. I still can't get over that. People are like, I don't care how hot they are, if their hair smells good, that's it, I'm in.
It sounds funny, but it makes sense. Scent is intimate. It's subconscious. It's about comfort, familiarity, safety. You don't need fireworks all the time. Sometimes you just need peace.
Exactly. And beyond physical details, there's a huge focus on practical life views: how someone handles money, stress, family, work. Can they communicate? Can they grow?
Gen Z is very aware that love alone isn't enough. You can have chemistry, but if your lifestyles clash, it's not going to work. So people are asking real questions early on, even if it feels awkward.
And I actually think that's brave. It takes courage to say, this is what I need, or this is what I can't compromise on, especially in a world where everyone's afraid of being too much.
Yeah, but being too much for the wrong person just means you're right for the right one. That's something Gen Z is slowly learning.
I love that. Dating now feels less like chasing validation and more like choosing alignment. People want to feel calm, not confused.
And honestly, if there's one takeaway from all of this, it's that Gen Z dating is messy, but it's thoughtful. There's a lot of trial and error, but there's also a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah, from talking phases to situationships, from dating to intentional connections, it's all part of figuring out what love looks like in a world that's constantly changing.
And maybe that's okay. Maybe dating isn't supposed to be perfect. Maybe it's supposed to teach you about others and about yourself.
Exactly. And if you can laugh through the awkward moments, lean on your friends, and stay honest with yourself, you're already doing better than you think.
So to anyone listening who feels tired, confused, or a little jaded about dating, same. You're not alone.
Yeah, take your time, date slower, choose deeper. And remember, the goal isn't to impress someone, it's to feel at home with them.
And on that note, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up.
Agreed. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time. Hopefully a little less delulu and a little more intentional.
Fingers crossed.